Hello friends, today I shall take a new topic and the name of the topic is why do courts acquit accused? So we shall discuss today on this topic and my lesson plan includes why it is in the news, introduction, what are the causes for the acquittal of accused in the court of law, impact of acquittal on the society, and finally conclusion. Friends, as you know, recently 3 accused were acquitted by courts in Indore, and these accused were charged with murder and kidnapping of 13-year-old son of a medical shop owner. But these accused were acquitted on the ground that most of the witnesses turned hostile, and so court had no option but to acquit them. The mother of the killed son was in the precinct of the court itself when the judgment was delivered. She wept bitterly, sobbing, but the accused came out of the court with their smiling faces. These acquittals have bad examples set in our society, and people doubted the efficacy of criminal justice system, the courts, and the functioning of the investigating officers. Thus, the conclusion is that the killed boy did not get justice even after his death. Friends, as you know that once a crime is committed, police register the case in the police station, which is called First Information Report under section 154 of CRPC, and then start the proceedings of investigation under section 156 of CRPC. According to Supreme Court, investigation is to collect evidence by going to the spot where the crime occurred, collection of evidences, examination of witnesses, seizure of documents, arrests of suspect, discovery of materials which were used for committing the crime. If investigating officer is of the opinion that there are sufficient evidences to produce in the court, then he will prepare a charge sheet under section 173 of CRPC in the court of law. The police has also the power to not investigate the case if he believes that there is no sufficient evidence. He may not produce those evidences in the court of law in the form of charge sheet. Friends, if there is sufficient evidence and the investigating officer has reason to believe that his case may succeed, he will produce charge sheet in the court of law. After the production of charge sheet, the court will scrutiny all the evidences and frame the charges against the accused. Once it is satisfied that charges are supported by evidences, then it may proceed for trial. During the process of trial, there would be the examination chief of witnesses, complainant, accused. The documents seized would be exhibited before accused. So these are the processes of trial. Once judge gets satisfied with the evidences brought before him, and if there is a sufficient reason to believe that accused has committed the crime, he will convict accused according to the provision of Indian Penal Code. Friends, now I shall switch over to the causes for the acquittal of the accused. Number 1, insufficient evidence. If the judge is of the opinion that evidence adduced before the trial are not sufficient, he may acquit the accused. Reasonable doubt. If judge is of the opinion that prosecution has failed to prove the guilt of accused beyond the reasonable doubt, he may acquit the accused. Friends, as you know that in our jurisprudence, it is the basic principle that everybody is innocent until proven guilty by the court of law. The third point is illegal evidence. Friends, if judge is of the view that the collection of evidence is full of inconsistencies, these evidences have been collected illegally, no proper procedure has been followed by investigating officer, the judge will acquit the accused. Another point is false confessions. Friends, as you know that if the judge comes to the conclusion that the confession taken from the accused are faulty, the confession has been taken under temptation, allurement, pressure, or under duress, he may acquit the accused. Because confession must be voluntary. It must not be under the coercion. Another point is credibility of witnesses. Friends, as you know that witnesses are examined, cross-examined, re-examined during the process of trial. If defense successfully impeach the credibility of witnesses, and if there are so many inconsistencies among the statements of witnesses, the judge will acquit the accused, because if the prosecution has failed to establish the guilt of the accused beyond reasonable doubt, judge will not convict the accused, but he will acquit the accused. Friends, if there is a failure of identification of stolen goods or unknown accused in the court of law, then it may be the sufficient cause for releasing accused or acquitting him. I know one example. When I was working in Jhabua district and some miscreants looted earrings and valuable ornaments from an old lady. Since culprits were unknown, there was necessity of establishing their identity, and when the complainant lady was brought before executive magistrate for identification of ornament, she completely refused to identify those stolen goods and to identify the criminals who committed loot against her, fearing that these looters or accused will avenge later on when they will be released from jail. And so police could not produce challan in the court of law. Similar things happens when in the court the accused are not identified by the complainant, nor stolen goods are identified in the court of law, in spite of the fact that they identified during the process of investigation. The court may presume that the identification is wrong, and so the court will release or acquit the accused for want of sufficient evidence. Alibi. If defense successfully establish that when the crime occurred, the accused were far off from the place of the occurrence of crime and it was not humanly possible to reach on the spot and to commit the crime, and if the court is satisfied, then the accused would be acquitted. If the testimony of experts are successfully impeached by the defense lawyers, and if certain inconsistencies are brought before the court of law in their testimony, the court has reason to acquit the accused. Friends, if there is a lack of jurisdiction of the concerned court, it may acquit the accused. Again, there is a provision of limitation. According to limitation law, there is a specific time limit for registering a case and filing the charge sheet in the court of law. For example, if a crime has been committed where the punishment is 3 years, the police will have to register the case within 1.5 years and produce the challan in the concerning court. If police has exceeded the time limit, the court has reason to believe that it is the violation of the statute of limitations, and so the court will cancel FIR or first information report itself, and the accused will be acquitted. In my own case, when I was CSP Gwalior, an accused who was involved in a murder, and he was arrested and charge sheeted. Later on, when I was transferred from Gwalior to Raipur, when accused was released on bail, he filed a complaint case against me in the Dabra court. But the complaint was filed after the lapse of 2 years under section 294/323 IPC, and so the High Court cancelled FIR itself because the registration of FIR in that case exceeded 1.5 years. I mean half of the quantum of punishment. So if a police officer violates the statute of limitation, the case will not stand the scrutiny of the court, and the court is bound to acquit the accused. Another reason for the acquittal of accused is poor investigation. Friends, as I have narrated earlier, investigation is to establish the link of chain of events from the occurrence of crime to the detection of crime. If there is some missing link, the prosecution would not be able to establish the linkage, and the defense will take its advantage, and so the court will release the accused or may order their acquittals. In our country, political pressure also plays a dominant role in influencing the event of a crime and the faulty investigation by the investigating officer. And so, under the pressure of political masters, investigating officers do faulty investigation and thereby leave several loopholes, and this may cause acquittal of the accused. Friends, ours is an unequal society, and so whenever accused are very much resourceful, powerful, both economically and politically, they exert pressure upon police, investigating officer and politicians. On the other hand, complainants are sometimes poor, they are not so much resourceful, and their lawyers are also government advocate. They are not matched to the expert lawyers of defense, and this result into the acquittal of accused. In addition, lack of expertise of investigating officer, violation of procedures, inadequate training, prejudice of the investigating officer if he is aligned with some accused party because of some temptation or allurement. These factors may also lead to the acquittal of accused. Impact upon the society. Friends, if an innocent person is convicted by the court of law, it has a deep impact upon society. People becomes very much susceptible to the working of criminal justice system. They lose faith in the efficacy of police working. Erosion of faith or trust in the police force starts gaining. The prestige of police ebbs in the eyes of people. Thus, we conclude that acquittal of an accused are on account of the complexities of factors. Sometimes the procedural mistakes, sometimes the lack of expertise on the part of investigating officer, sometimes the resourcefulness of the accused and the legal expertise of defense lawyers are some of the important points for the acquittal of accused. It must be remembered that no society can prosper and grow well, no equitable society can be founded for want of a better criminal justice system. Since India is a developing country, it needs that an effective criminal justice system operates where the criminals, the accused, are brought before the court of law and they are convicted for their criminal activities, so that society can become a better and livable one. Friends, if you like my channel, please share and subscribe AJIS Academy Indore for numerous videos on different topics from Indian history to Indian geography, Indian constitution, Indian economy and legal awareness. Thank you very much.